Dear colleagues, first, I would like to wish all of you a happy new year. We all are very aware that the last year, or even the last 2 years, have been very challenging for all of us on both the professional and especially personal levels. I would like to thank the staff for their work, their effort, their resilience. In the context of my duty of care, I am committed to cooperating closely with the staff committee and to develop with all managers practices to safeguard the work-life balance as much as possible. I hope that this year will bring some welcome changes for you and your families. Despite all the difficulties linked to COVID-19, last year was a groundbreaking one for our agency. It was a game changer for Frontex, transforming our organization and the entire European Border and Coast Guard. Thanks to the efforts put in by all of you, we managed to deploy the first standing corps officers to the EU external borders and continued to recruit, train and deploy them throughout last year. In 2021, we often had more than 2,000 standing corps officers all along the external borders, working shoulder to shoulder with their national counterparts. This includes more than 630 Category 1 officers who are directly employed by our agency and wear the blue EU uniforms. The first category officers have been authorized to carry and use handguns, and we are working with the national authorities in Poland and several other member states on the authorization to carry and store additional weapons. The Standing Corps has transformed Frontex and will continue to bring changes in the way we work. Today, we are truly an operational arm of the European Union, with a growing number of our staff now working in the field. This, of course, means other modifications in the structure of our growing agency, both dictated by our mandate as well as the changing reality on the ground. We have already implemented the new organigram that better reflects the increasingly operational nature of the agency and prepare for our future. The Management Board has appointed 3 new Deputy Executive Directors who will support me in running the agency. Each will be responsible for some of the agency's key functions. As you know, Aya Kalnaya has already taken up her post as Deputy Executive Director for Standing Corps Management. In the coming days, the 2 other Deputy Executive Directors, Lars Gersdes and Uku Sarakano, will be joining us at Frontex. Responding to the need for adjustment of the model for supporting the cross-divisional dimension of the agency and fine-tuning of processes for the enlarged executive management team, in November, the Management Board adopted an updated organizational structure to include the Executive Affairs Unit operating within the Governance Support Center. The view to further stabilize the organizational arrangements within the agency. I confirmed the assignment of 4 directors of divisions: Deployment Management, ETIAS, Central Unit, ECRET, and Governance Support Center. Finally, completing the recent organizational transformation, the revised Frontex internal structure and rules of procedures came into force last month. The new FISROP better define the tasks and activities of each Frontex entity and bring considerable changes to the rules of procedures to reflect the growth of the agency. Amid all these organizational changes, Frontex played an essential part in dealing with new threats at the external borders, especially the use of irregular migrants as a hybrid threat against member states and the entire European Union. The agency's ability to react more quickly and decisively in these types of situations at the external borders makes Frontex even more a player as regards EU's internal security architecture. We demonstrated this with the launch of the rapid border intervention in Lithuania last summer. Thanks to the massive effort of the Operational Response Division, the Deployment Management Division, and many other colleagues throughout the agency. Within a matter of days, Frontex provided more than 100 standing corps officers and dozens of patrol cars to support Lithuania in dealing with the artificially created migration crisis at its borders. The agency also expanded its operational footprint by launching another operation outside the European Union, this time in Serbia. All this as we continued to provide various services at the borders from Spain to Greece to Cyprus to as far north as Finland. But Frontex is not only about operational deployments. The establishment of the Standing Corps has allowed the agency to expand the variety of services we provide to member states in the area of border control. From aerial surveillance to fighting cross-border crime, return tailored risk analysis to training of law enforcement officers and other efforts. We do not have the time to discuss every single achievement from last year, but let me give you just a few highlights. In the Channel, Frontex has begun to provide aerial surveillance to help protect lives and fight smuggling activities by detecting irregular migrants planning to take the dangerous sea route toward the UK. The Situational Awareness and Monitoring Division also tracked and collected intelligence related to the numerous hotspots at the external borders from Lithuania and Latvia to the Canary Islands. Its staff also prepared special vulnerability reports and provided valuable intelligence related to the situation in Afghanistan and its possible repercussion at the external borders. Here, I also want to praise our officers who assisted in the evacuation of EU and Afghan citizens in Georgia. The Operational Response Division coordinated 5 joint action days as part of MPACT and took part in many others. These led to the detection of hundreds of people smugglers, stolen cars, and illegal drugs. Under the MPACT umbrella, the agency has also created the Handbook on Firearms for Border Guard and Customs Officers, in cooperation with the Border Guard and Customs community, as well as EU and international partners. Thanks to the Capacity Building Division, the agency managed to train hundreds of Standing Corps officers in Italy and Spain, launch a new Aerostat project in Greece to test this capability to monitor the borders from the air and acquire new technical equipment for our operations. In the face of numerous travel limitations, the European Centre for Returns managed to support the return of more than 18,000 third country nationals last year. Frontex has never played a part in so many returns in 1 year, even before COVID. This impressive record is in large part due to the increase in returns by scheduled flights. In the international arena, the International and European Cooperation Division negotiated the largest technical assistance project in the form of IPA 3 and organized 2 major events. One of them was the Euro-Arab Border Security Conference in Amman, Jordan, highlighted by the presence of the European Commissioner for Neighbourhood and Enlargement. The other one was the high-level meeting of Frontex managers and Western Balkan partners, opened by Slovenia's Minister of Interior, acting as the EU presidency. Finally, Frontex now has in place the ETIAS Central Unit Division, which has begun to take on board new staff in preparation for the launch of ETIAS. Frontex will also play an essential role in the introduction of the entry-exit system in ETIAS, alongside member states, to make sure these important upgrades to make our borders more secure while making passage easier for travelers. Of course, all these achievements go hand in hand with increased fundamental rights safeguards. In 2021, the agency adopted the Fundamental Rights Strategy, recruited our new Fundamental Rights Officer and Fundamental Rights Monitors, who regularly observe our operations. In the area of protection of personal data, we have taken significant steps to upgrade our rules to be properly equipped as a law enforcement actor. I thank all of you for all these successes, especially considering the circumstances all of us have had to face last year. Dear colleagues, before I close, I would like to address another issue that has tested our agency last year. And that is the wave of criticism that Frontex has had to deal with. As you know, several investigations, including one by the European Parliament, have found no evidence of any violations of fundamental rights by Frontex officers or staff. No evidence. None. We all remain committed to protecting fundamental rights. Some of these investigations have made recommendations to upgrade our fundamental rights strategy and other aspects of our activities. I welcomed all these recommendations, as any growing organization must adjust and adapt to the changing circumstances. And we can all agree that our agency has undergone an unprecedented transformation in recent years. It is also important to note that most of the criticism against Frontex was based on wrong or misleading information and misunderstanding of our mission and work. This is why I can assure you that I will continue to speak out to defend our work and values. I will always speak out to defend our staff. I also think that actions speak louder than words, and in recent months, many more Europeans have learned about the true value Frontex provides at the external borders. Dear colleagues, I hope you were able to get some rest and to spend time with your loved ones. More challenges await. So let's get to work with a reinforced team spirit. Let's be proud of our achievements and new missions. Let's cooperate more than ever with the European border and Coast Guard partners in the Member States in a spirit of shared responsibilities. Let's welcome 2022 and all its opportunities.